Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna.
I can't see anyone. Where is everyone? Shivya, Vikas, Shinika. We'll wait till everyone switches on their video.
Guruji, my network is not working properly, so I might have to keep.
What about others?
Sir, I'm trying to switch on my video, but this thing is showing.
Just a second. Yeah, I can't see anyone. Just give me a minute. Can you all switch on your videos, please? Because it becomes difficult to talk to a blank screen then.
Sir, I can't. I'm trying to.
You log out and log in again. Maybe you will be able to then.
No, sir, there's this problem in the device itself.
Okay. Is there anything you all want to discuss or hear in particular? You can tell me. I can discuss that subject from the scriptures.
Guruji, can you see me now?
Yeah, I can. Yes, Veda. Anyone? Anyone has
So can you teach us a magic trick today?
no. Let's just focus on the
Please.
subject we're discussing first. Maybe in the end, if we have some time. Anyone has a request apart from the magic tricks? Okay. Let it be then. Can I tell you all a story from the scriptures? Are you all reciting that prayer, Dashavatar, every day? Shivya, did you recite?
So I stopped after that class.
So no more magic tricks. So what can we do then?
Guruji, I kept trying, but it's like really hard to pronounce some words out of it. So like every time, like every day I pray. So then when I pray, I just keep my phone next to me and then read it out.
So that's what I'm requesting. Just read it out every day, those 10 prayers. And
Every day I sit and do
did you all chant that Nrsimha mantra? I actually forgot to post it on the chat. Maybe I'll do it today. That is specially meant for protection. As you remember, last time we discussed a story how a little girl, maybe 2-3 years old, she used to recite this, and suddenly there was an accident, but nothing happened to her. The Lord protected her. And she could see him also. So there are various stories, values which our scriptures teach. Like, for example, you all have siblings? Any?
So the cousins come
Okay. Do you all have fights also? Sometimes? Lot of fights?
every day.
Every day. Serious fights?
No, sir, physical.
Serious fights.
Sometimes.
Okay. So, you all know about Mahabharat, right? You all know about Ramayana, right? Now, among the Pandavas, there is Yudhishthir, there is Bhima, there is Nakul, there is Sahadev, there is Arjun. Have you ever heard them fighting, or have you ever come across an incident where they fought with each other? Hmm? Does anybody know any incident where they fought among themselves? Now, all of them had a different nature, isn't it? Yudhishthir was very calm, composed, peaceful. Bhima was kind of hyper. He would get hyper. Arjuna,
Very short tempered, right?
pardon? Yeah, not exactly, but he would get angry, but he was also quite capable of doing some great tasks. Then we have Arjun, who was more balanced. And then you have Nakul and Sahadev, they were the younger ones, always very respectful to their elder brothers. So you know there were always not always, but sometimes there were disagreements. They did not agree with each other's opinion. But what is one important quality that we can learn from the Pandavas? One very essential quality, even though they disagreed, that we learn even between Ram and Bharat also. What is that one quality that we can learn from them? Anyone? Any guesses? Don't worry about right or wrong answer. I just want you all to think a little bit, because if you think, discuss, interact, then you will be able to remember it all the more. What is one quality that we can learn from the Pandavas? Samaira, would you like to answer? Even though they were having different natures and there were disagreements. Who would like to? Ananya?
Prabhuji, I'm not sure. I don't
Yes. Veda? No.
Prabhuji, courage.
Courage, okay. What else?
Togetherness.
Togetherness. Yes, Shinika, you are right. So even though there were disagreements, but they remained together. They did not run away from each other. They did not distance themselves away. They did not stop talking to each other, because even though there were arguments, they did not stop respecting each other. So even though there could be disagreements between you and your friend or among the siblings, but that mutual love and respect should not go away. Understood this, right? Even though we might disagree, we might fight, but there should be that mutual love and respect always. Like in the Mahabharata, there is an incident mentioned. Just to substantiate this point, you know what happened to the Pandavas, right? What happened between the Pandavas and the Kauravas? They were driven out of their state.
But they were enemies.
Yeah, but then what happened as a result of that?
The Kauravas didn't let the Pandavas stay in the palace.
Yes, how did they manage to do it?
Prabhuji, war?
Pardon?
War and games.
No, I
Game.
think Krishnaji went as something to ask for some land, and then they gave a very dry land where nothing could be grown or something.
Yes, that is also true. But later on, what happened? The Pandavas were cheated out of their kingdom, and even their wife was insulted. And
Yes, I know. They played a game with like dice and stuff. In
it was a
that,
gambling match. It was a gambling match, and the Pandavas were cheated, and they were driven out of the kingdom. They could.
Probably they used to gamble at that time.
So yes, I'll come to that. You'll have to wait till August for my new book. In that, I have answered this question also. Why did Yudhishthir gamble when it was bad? Why did he agree to gamble?
He had a habit of gambling.
You, who had?
Sir.
No. You wait for the book. You also read that. You will get many answers. Okay. So they were cheated, and the Pandavas had to live in the forest. Imagine they were living in the palace, and suddenly they have to live in a forest. It's like somebody living in a big palatial house, and suddenly now he has to live on the street. He has no food, no clothing, no shelter. That's the kind of situation Pandavas were in. Now Duryodhana, Yudhishthira was very kind, gentle, humble, respectful, pure-hearted, innocent. On the other side, Duryodhana was very arrogant, and he had the worst of qualities. Which is that? Which is the worst of all qualities? Which doesn't let you remain in peace, and which makes you harm others also.
It's greed, right?
and selfishness.
It's
Greed and selfishness.
it's envy. You know, jealousy. If somebody has better than us, we become jealous. And the more intense form of envy is, or jealousy is envy. When a person actually tries to harm the other person, is envious of. So jealousy is simply like a feeling in the heart. Okay, you don't like someone flourishing or doing well. But envy is when we actually put that jealousy into practice and we actually try to harm the person. It's called a crab-like mentality. Crab. You know what is a crab? If you put many crabs inside a vessel, now they can easily, each one of them easily can crawl out. But the thing is, if one tries to escape, others will pull him down. Other crabs will pull that crab down. So that's a crab-like mentality. If somebody tries to do well, when somebody tries to harm him, pull him down, that is called envy. Now, Duryodhana had this worst of qualities. And when a person has this quality, he can't even enjoy what he already has. Duryodhana had the whole world with him. He was ruling. He had taken the kingdom away from the Pandavas. He was basically, and Pandavas had nothing. They were living in the forest. But still, he could not stay happy with whatever he had. And even within the forest, he didn't want the Pandavas to live comfortably. So he would try to create some problem for them. Sometimes he would send the sages to curse them. Do you all know this story? He sent one sage so that the Pandavas could be cursed. Okay, just remind me after I complete this one. I'll tell you that story also. How cunning Duryodhana was. Now, he came to know where the Pandavas were residing within the forest. So he decided to make them feel envious of his wealth, fame, his army, his kingdom. Just look at him. Pandavas were bichara innocent. They're living in the forest in so much difficulty. And there also he didn't want to live them happily. So if we are envious, we think others are also envious. If we are bad, we look at others also as bad. Because the world is simply a reflection of our own thoughts. If we are good, we'll see everyone else also as good. If we are pure, we see others also as pure. If we are impure, we see others as also impure. So Duryodhana wanted to make them feel jealous that you have nothing, look at what I have. So he took his army He took all his brothers and they dressed in most opulent clothing, best of ornaments, their chariots and their soldiers and their servants, and they came to the forest very close to the spot where the Pandavas were living. And right across the river, he set up his own camp, which was extremely opulent, all kinds of eatables and anything that they needed, it was there. So that Pandavas would look and feel jealous or feel envious. Or basically feel jealous that they couldn't have had any envy. Now what happened is, you see, Pandavas, even though they went through so many difficulties, but nothing could harm them. What was the reason?
Their humble behavior and humility.
So yes, there were three main reasons, which even Bhishma later on told the Pandavas that why they were protected despite all the dangers that came into their lives. And if we can also follow these three principles in life, these three sutras, no matter what kind of difficulties come into your life, because you're like children, you can learn right now only and start applying it. If we can follow these three principles, no matter what kind of difficulty, challenges come into our lives, they won't be able to harm us. Just like the Pandavas were protected, we will also be protected. Do you want to learn about these three principles, or we just let it go and maybe discuss some other?
No, sir. We want to. And sir, I have a question.
Let me just finish the story. You can remember your question. So these three principles are most important. And because the Pandavas followed this, therefore, no matter what difficulty, what calamity came into their life, they were protected always. So we are living in a world where challenges, ups and downs will inevitably come into our lives as we grow up, start dealing with the world at large. But if we stick to these three, we will always be protected. Now that is within our control, right? You want to learn about those three principles? Raise your hand if you want to learn these three principles. Okay, I can only see 3 hands. Others, they don't want to. Shivya, what about you?
I can't understand the question. Can you repeat?
My question is, the Pandavas, you know about the Pandavas, right?
Yeah.
Now, there were so many dangers in their lives, right? But still, they were always protected. Nothing could harm them. They were not harmed. Understood? This much? So nothing could harm them, and nothing happened to them, although sometimes sages were sent to curse them, demons were coming to attack them. There was an attempt to burn them alive inside a house they were living in. But the Pandavas were always protected. They were safe because they followed three principles.
When they followed Krishna.
Yeah, that was one principle. So three principles Pandavas stuck to, and which always protected them. And if we can, in our life also, we can stick to these three principles, follow them, and we will also be always protected, despite any danger that comes into our life, or ups and downs or challenges. Number one principle was their faith in Krishna. They never lost faith in Krishna. Like in today's world, we see something happens or something doesn't happen as we desire. No, I will not worship God. I don't have faith because I didn't get good marks, or I didn't get this, I didn't get that. People lose faith. But if anyone had to lose faith, it was the Pandavas. So much happened to them, they could have easily lost their faith. Because Krishna was their first cousin, they were pure devotees of Krishna, but they never lost. No matter what happened, they never complained that God, why are you doing this to me? And their faith was unshaken. This was number one. So Shivya was right. Second principle was which Bhishma told the Pandavas, they were always very respectful to the saintly people. The saintly people are the representatives of God. They carry God's blessings. So the saintly people would always bless them. Their blessings protected them. So two principles done. What is the first one?
Faith in Krishna.
Second,
Respectable.
they were always respectful to the saintly people, the devotees. And number three, they always followed Dharma. Even though so many wrong things happened to them, they did not become irreligious, or they did not give up their Dharma. They did not stop doing the right thing. They did not try to harm Duryodhana in retaliation. They didn't try to cheat anyone. So that way, they followed Dharma no matter what happened to them. They did not give up the path of righteousness. And therefore, these three things, faith in Krishna, respect for the saintly people, and sticking to Dharma, the path of righteousness in all situations, never lying, never cheating, never insulting, never trying to put anybody down. They always followed Dharma. Therefore, they will always protect it. So stick to these three always. Be respectful to the saintly people. Be very faithful to God no matter what happens. And always do the right thing. Even though you might come across people in life who might be cheaters, liars, or have the habit of troubling others, we should not give up this path. We should be good always. And eventually we will be the winners, we will be victorious, we will be protected. So the Pandavas, they did not care much about what Duryodhana was trying to do. They were least bothered. But one of the Devatas, his name is Chitrarath. He's from the celestial heavenly world. He did not like it. The poor Pandavas, Bechara, they are suffering, and this Duryodhana is still not done with his evil intentions. So what he did was, with his people, he attacked Duryodhana and his army. And everyone had to run away. Everyone. And then he arrested Duryodhana. Now, this was a big insult for Duryodhana. And somehow the news reached the Pandavas who were staying close by. Guess who was the happiest when he heard the news that Duryodhana was arrested? Guess who was the happiest among the Pandavas? Out of the 5 Pandavas.
Was it Arjun?
Bhim.
Bhim.
Bhim was the happiest. He said, very good. Something that we were supposed to do, this Gandharva, Chitrarath, this Devta has done. So let us just party, let's enjoy this good news. But you know, Yudhishthir, what did he say? He said, no. This is a family matter. For the world, when the dispute is between us and the Kauravas. They are 100, we are 5. But for the outside world, we are 105. Understood? This is an internal dispute which we should resolve amongst ourselves. But when it comes to some outside force trying to harm our family, because after all we belong to the same family, we are together. We are 105. So that was Yudhishthir's great quality. Even though he could see somebody trying to harm him, but he did not give up his dharma of being still respectful to his family members, still cooperating. So no matter what to speak of among the Pandavas, even when the dispute was with the Kauravas, Duryodhana and his party, who had wronged them so many times, Yudhishthira still followed this principle that that mutual respect and love should not go away. Dispute is on one side, but our love, our respect for one another should not go away. Understood this principle? Even though there could be fights, disagreements, as you grow up between the family members or between relatives or friends, that's okay. But the mutual love and respect should not go away. Respect at least. There may not be love, but at least You may lose love, but at least respect should not go away. We should be well-mannered when it comes to our words or actions. Yes, Anvi, what's your question?
Sir, my question is that what was the name of Duryodhana's sister and how was her behavior? Like, was she humble or was she envious?
Duryodhana's sister.
Yeah.
Where did you read this?
The Rashtra had 101 children, 100 were boys and one was a girl.
I don't know her name. I have no idea.
Even
Anyone else?
Her name is Dushala.
Kya baat hai? Shibya knows. Yes.
you maybe search the web.
Okay. So.
No, I didn't. I read a book and she was good, Anvidi.
Acha. She was good. She was good like Radhya.
The girls in Mahabharata are good only.
Yeah.
Shibya, she was as good as Radhya.
Yes.
So tomorrow is her birthday also.
I know. It's her birthday tomorrow. Okay, so one of the main reasons why we are doing these classes on Sundays, because so many people, you may have classes of dance, art, whatever, but this is different from them because we are learning a very important principle, and that is about the grace of God. Not everything in this life, in our life, can be achieved simply by our own efforts. What we need is the Lord's grace also. And how does that grace come into our lives? How does that grace come into our lives?
By being humble.
That's okay, by being humble. That's a natural outcome. But how does the Lord's grace come into our lives?
To be kind to others and like help others.
Okay, that's
The
also.
Lord said to do his seva. That's how.
No, not his seva. If we,
Somehow.
I think if we help others, then he'll also like be happy with us.
Shibya somehow always seems to give the right answer.
So how can this be? So it's not.
I know she's not Googling. Yes. So yes, we have to serve humanity. We have to heal others. That is one thing, but we also have to serve God. Both should go hand in hand. And that's when we get His grace. And when we do anything with His grace, then whatever we do to serve others also has much more power. Right? So this is all about how we can acquire that grace. Prisha, you wanted to say something? Or you're done?
Yeah.
Okay. So another incident, how the Lord was always there to protect. And how do we, now when Shiva said doing his seva. So seva doesn't necessarily mean sitting in front of him and offering him flower, fruit. That is also seva. And that you all must do. I had mentioned it initially. And I hope you all are continuing to do it. But offering some tulsi leaf or a flower or a fruit or some water or sweets, whatever you can, and reciting those prayers is also seva. And one of the ways we serve the Lord is by hearing about him. Like now we are hearing, every Sunday we are hearing about him, and we are giving our most valuable time. That is also, in fact, the best seva we can do. The best gift we can give to someone whom we love is our time. So when we give our time to God also, that's when he's very happy and his grace comes into our life. He blesses us. So another incident, Duryodhana again tried to harm the Pandavas. So there was a great rishi of the name Durvasa. Have you heard the name Durvasa?
Yes, sir. He always used to get angry at small things and like curse people. And I don't like him.
Yeah, this is true. But he's a great sage otherwise, because
Sir, he's an avatar of Lord Shiva.
he's an avatar of Lord Shiva, and he also blesses everyone quite easily. So that part also has to be seen. We can't forget that aspect. So Durvasa Rishi came to Duryodhana's palace, and one fine day, because he was served very nicely by Duryodhan, so he was very pleased. He said, "Ask for a benediction." So Duryodhan said, I don't want, he was very cunning. He said, I don't want anything for myself, but can you do me a favor? He said, yes. Said, my poor brothers and my sister-in-law, they are living in the forest, and they also like to serve the sadhus. So can you just go and accept food at their place also, wherever they are staying? So this Rishi, he was very pleased with Duryodhana. So he said, yeah, I'll go. Now when this Rishi went to have his meal, the condition was the Pandavas had a vessel. They had a vessel which was given to them by Surya Dev,
It's called Akshay Patra.
Akshay Patra. And because see, when you have the grace of God, then the other powers of the universe also, they're always there to help. So Surya was thinking, what will these Pandavas Bechara eat in the forest? So uh, he gave an Akshay Patra, and the condition was that uh, unlimited people could eat from this Akshay Patra. If food was cooked in this Patra, in this vessel, unlimited people, as many people as were there, they could eat from this vessel, as long as Draupadi had not eaten. If Draupadi ate, then on that particular day, no more food would be produced in this vessel. So even if 1,000 sages, the single vessel could produce food for them. But when Draupadi had eaten, then that was for the day. So Duryodhana also knew this secret, and he deliberately told Durvasa Rishi to go at a particular time, because he knew by this time Draupadi must have eaten. And since Pandavas would not be able to serve him, he would get angry, and then angry, he would curse the Pandavas. That was his plan. Always planning to destroy them. Envious. When Durvasa Rishi came, uh, he was welcomed by Yudhishthir Maharaj, other Pandavas. Then since a guest has come, when a guest comes into our house, you must always ask him for food, whether he would like to have some food. No, he may say no, but we should definitely ask. This is a culture. So Durvasa Rishi agreed. He said, but Yudhishthir said, why don't you just go take bath? Or he himself went, I'll go take bath and come back. And now the Pandavas were anxious. They didn't know what to do, because Draupadi had eaten. There was no more food left. And what if they couldn't serve their guest properly? He would get angry. And when a devotee is in trouble, what does he do? When a devotee is in trouble, what does he do?
Remember the Lord?
Yes, right. Shinika, you also always give the right answers. So, Draupadi and everyone started remembering Krishna, and Krishna came. He said, what happened? He said, sages, now we have nothing to eat. So Krishna said, okay, that's okay, but I am also hungry. Give me something to eat. And the Pandavas like, are you making fun of us? You already told you have nothing to feed that sage. And now you yourself are asking for, he said, what to do? I can't do anything unless I've eaten. I'm feeling so weak. So give me something to eat. Draupadi said, I have already eaten. The vessel that gives food is already washed. Now it cannot produce any more food. He said, just see if there is something inside that pot. So Draupadi brought the pot, and in one corner, Krishna had one little uh, piece of shark. You know what is shark? Green leafy vegetable. A little part of that.
Yes, sir. It's a
And-
herb.
And he ate it, that little bit. And suddenly he felt so sad. "Ah, now I am full." Now, do you think when you are hungry, by eating this little bit of shark, your tummy will get full? Hmm? What if your mother gives you this much when you are hungry?
I will
What
be
would
so angry at her and
hungry and angry? Yes. So, but as soon as Krishna felt satisfied, now understand, Durvasa Rishi had not come alone. The worry of the Pandavas were not because they had to feed one person. He had been sent by Duryodhana with his 60,000 disciples. So now it was, if he had come alone, it would have been still managed, but so Pandavas were anxious. As soon as Krishna ate, now Durvasa Rishi and the others they were taking bath inside the river, and suddenly they felt as if their bellies were full. Suddenly, and they did not have any hunger left. And right at this time, Krishna told Bhima, "Now, Bhima, go and invite Durvasa and his disciples." So Bhima came with his club, with his gada. He came to invite when Durvasa Rishi and his disciples saw, and they were thinking, "My God, our bellies are full now, and Yudhishthira must have prepared food for us. If we don't eat, it'll be an offense, and we can't take panga with the Lord's devotees." So they just ran away, just left. They just disappeared from the place. So this is how Krishna protected the Pandavas again and again and again, because they were always faithful to him. Whenever there was a trouble, they would remember him. This I discussed a few weeks ago also. If you are stuck ever in life, if you are in trouble, some challenging situation, all you have to do is, without getting anxious, just start remembering Krishna. Just start remembering the Lord, and you will see all the doors opening, everything falling into place. That remembrance is the key. Now, one important principle I'll end with. When Krishna ate that little piece of shark, how did the bellies of the sages became full? Because suppose you want to water the tree. Where do you put water? Tree has many parts, right? Can you name the parts of a tree?
the
Leaf.
root, leaf, stem,
Good, good.
bud,
Bark,
Right, right.
root.
Great, very nice. Now,
flower.
now, if you want to water these different parts of the tree, where do you put water?
The roots.
At the roots. Do you put it on leaves or branches or
When I
twigs?
was little, I used to put it on the leaves.
So you don't do that, right? But you learnt it, that this is not the right way.
Yeah.
Similarly, in the scriptures, Krishna is compared to, or God is compared to, the root of the tree. So if you want to satisfy everyone and everything around you, we have to just water the root of the tree. That means we should simply do something to satisfy or make the Lord happy. You have to satisfy the Lord. So as soon as you put water at the root, it automatically gets distributed to other parts of the tree. They become nourished. Similarly, when we try to satisfy and please God, make him happy, get his grace, then that happiness also spreads all over the world, and it spreads to everyone we are in touch with. We can satisfy everyone, because ultimately everything and everyone in this world is a part and parcel of God. Just like Krishna showed the universal form to Arjuna while speaking the Gita, in that Arjuna saw everything and everyone was present within Krishna's body. So when you satisfy Krishna, when you make God happy, then automatically everyone else also becomes happy. And by satisfying him, we also become happy. We also get that nourishment just like when we put water at the root of the tree, even the leaves become happy, they feel nourished, the branches get nourished, twigs, the fruit, everything gets nourished. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments? Can somebody
Our trick for today.
okay, can somebody summarize the class for today? Just in 2 minutes. Then I will maybe do a little bit of chanting with all of you. But can somebody summarize? I told you 2 stories today. What was the first principle we spoke about, which is very relevant to your life as well? I'll give you a hint. I spoke about the siblings or friends, relatives. There's a principle.
Prabhuji, togetherness.
Togetherness. Okay. What else?
And
Respect and togetherness.
Yeah,
respect.
there could be disagreement. Yes, there could be disagreement, but that respect should not go. We should not speak disrespectful words to anyone. We should not be harsh. That mutual respect should not go away. Then we also talk about 3 principles in life which protected the Pandavas throughout their life despite all the dangers that came into their life. What were the 3 sutras, 3 principles?
Prabhuji, faithfulness.
Krishna. It
Faith,
was the thing for God.
faith, faith in God. Second,
They were
respect for
safe.
respect for the saintly people. Yes. And number 3, number 3, always following the path of righteousness.
Yes, they used to always follow Dharma.
Just because others are doing wrong things, we should not follow them. We should not give up our path of righteousness. We should always do the right thing. We should know the right thing and do the right thing. These 3 things. Okay. And what else did we discuss in the second story? What is the essential principle that we learn from that Akshay Patra story?
Prabhuji, that if we are always faithful to the Lord, He will always protect us.
That's true. But another principle we learned is that if you try to satisfy God through your thoughts, words, and actions, then you automatically end up satisfying everyone. Because just like by watering the root of the tree, so that's why it's important to serve God, to please Him, because that happiness, that pleasure then spreads to everyone around us and everything that is around us. We're living in a world, this whole world is like a part and parcel of God. So instead of trying to satisfy everyone individually, we just try to satisfy God. And just like Krishna ate, although Krishna ate that little piece of shark, but because as we see in the universal form shown to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in the Gita we read, he showed his universal form, where everything and all the sages, devatas, the entire creation was present within Krishna's body. So as soon as Krishna ate that little piece of shark, he felt happy, satisfied, his belly was full. So automatically all the sages' belly also became full because the root was satisfied now. The root was watered. Understood this principle?
Yes.
Understood. So if you want happiness in life, you have to learn to give God that happiness. And how do we do that? Just like what we are doing every Sunday, just giving Him our valuable time to know about Him, to hear about Him, to remember Him, to chant His names, like that. Any questions? Samaira, where are you from? You're from South, right?
Yes.
Which place?
No, can you repeat what you were saying?
Oh, where are you from?
Kolkata.
Kolkata. Okay. So do you all know each other, Anvi
Yes.
and others? Acha.
Yes, sir.
Same class?
No.
Then?
And we shifted to Delhi.
Oh, she's in Delhi now. Yes.
No, I'm in Kolkata now. I came for summer vacations.
So you got your books?
Yeah.
So dolls also would come in next 2-3 days maybe.
Okay.
They were already dispatched on Thursday, but I think Monday you all should get it. Anything? Any questions? Comments? Shall we stop? All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Sunday.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay. Take care. God bless all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Have a good week.
Hare Krishna.